right here, we're going to go ahead and remove this brick that's here, and we're going to create an archway, and then inside of it there's going to be Mother Mary holding baby Jesus. We're going to title it the prayer corner so that people can light candles, leave little pieces of paper with prayers written on it. My name is Robert Hajir, and my father, Abdi Hajir, is the founder of Halal Food Council and Isan Farms. He worked in the poultry industry all his life once he came over here from the Middle East, and I was born and raised here, so poultry has been a part of my life from the beginning. My first job was in the poultry industry at the age of 14, and I very quickly became involved in halal as a teenager, and I've worked for my father in one respect or another my entire life. So now I am the second generation running this company, and it's such a fun and great job. It's such a niche thing that it started out as, and now it's becoming much more mainstream. A lot of people have a lot of questions, and I love educating them on that. Mm-hmm. So I've been working in this industry for almost 3 decades, and I finally gotten to a point where I know a little bit, and I'm trying to follow in my dad's footsteps. He's still working part-time for us. He's still heavily involved, so I really enjoy getting a chance to work in a family-run business.
Tell me what this space is and what are the plans for it?
So this is going to be the renovated office for Halal Food Council USA. What is Halal Food Council USA? It is a halal certifying body, or HCB. There are 6 major HCBs in the United States. Those 6 are the major ones because they have international recognition from Muslim majority governments, which there are about 53 of those. So we have relationships with Singapore, Malaysia. In fact, the Malaysians are coming next week to not only see the progress with this office, but also our poultry processing facility. And we have relationships with the United Arab Emirates, or UAE, Turkey, and other Middle Eastern nations. So the recognition that we get from those countries gives our halal certifying body domestic recognition and credibility. Of those 6, luckily, Princess Anne has one of them, and that's us. That's because my father, the founder of this company, was one of the early pioneers of halal. He was one of the first individuals to go over to Malaysia, one of the pioneering countries for a global halal standard. He was the co-founder and first treasurer of the World Halal Food Council. He's also the co-founder of the American Association for Halal Certifiers, which we'll talk about in a little bit, which is the American Trade Organization for Halal Certifying Bodies, or HCBs. Is that this archway, which you can't see, but that giant glass door with the archway is going to be the main entrance. Then you'll enter. So if you come in this way, this will be the main entrance room. There will be reception right here, and they will guide individuals to where they need to go. Right here, we'll have a second waiting area for Halal Food Council itself. So Halal Food Council, what do? Well, we do 5 things. The first thing that we do is we provide halal certification. So if you are an American producer of food, cosmetics, pharmaceuticals, then what we would do is we would accept your application for halal certification. We would examine your facility. We'd conduct an on-site audit. We'd look at all of the products you make, all of your materials, ingredients that go into it. And if we determine that there's a potential for you to be halal certified, then we walk everyone through the process. We issue halal training, and we get all of their employees. We give them manuals. We get the employees up to date on what halal practices are. And then if they meet our standard and our Sharia board approves, we go ahead and issue halal certification to them. That allows them to sell products in the US or internationally as halal. With the halal market booming right now, a lot of people are hungry for this. So we provide halal certification. That's one. These will be our two restrooms, both ladies and men's. Back here, we're going to have a washer and dryer. We're going to have our hot water heater, and we're going to have our electric panel. It's going to be a utility. This wall here is a false wall. Once we have completed the windows and the door with the glass, we'll bring this down and extend the roof and the walls all the way to that true wall.
Okay.
Same thing is going to occur over here. So this false wall will go. Two, we provide on-site blessing services. So, for example, in poultry, which is where our forte is, where we concentrate, where we are experts, we provide blessing services to companies that slaughter poultry. We have people on site every shift, every line, making sure that what is being done is in accordance with our standards. So there are certain things that require that on-site sending a person out there. So we have about 25 to 30 individuals that work in that capacity, all the way from Delaware down to North Carolina, that will go on site and perform the supervision. So that's two. But we're going to have a conference room here. And then in here, where these tiles are, you're going to have a kitchenette. It's going to be sort of a break area. The third thing we do is we provide halal education seminars. So we've done that with UMES. We've done that in conjunction with USDA. We'll do webinars or in-person seminars, and we will educate NGOs, government agencies and sub-agencies, as well as private sector on what is halal, what are the opportunities there, and how to conform to halal practices, and the variances that you will find within the different communities. Here, we're going to have our lab. In order to halal certified products, a lot of foreign governments will require that we have a lab that gives us the ability to test those products. So we can get confirmation that the ingredients being used don't have any products that we don't have. So we have a lab that's going to be built here. We could outsource this, but we've decided now that since we're doing this building, that bringing that in-house is going to be pretty important for us. And the fourth thing that we do is halal consulting, which kind of jumps off of the education part. So we will consult with private companies and let them know whether halal is viable, and if it is viable, what the best way to proceed forward is, and what markets that they really need to try to enter. We will have our main office. Likely my father will go here. Then we'll have our HFC office manager here. And then this will likely be my office here. Then in the back, we'll have a walk-through office. Part 5, which is sales. So we help companies actually enter domestic halal markets and international markets. These can be markets that are hard to enter. They're very insular. There's some gatekeeping that occurs. We can help open those doors for companies, for private companies that want to enter the halal sector. And we act as a sales broker, or we offer sales advice to them. This walkthrough office will take you to the conference room, and we can put whether we have interns or we have office clerks or we have part-time help. We'll have 2 desks in here, perhaps some file storage as well. So now I'll take you back to the other side. So we bought this building. Our previous building was in Salisbury, and that ended up becoming the Ross. So we've also have a sister corporation, which is our poultry processing facility. That's been in production for 8.5 years, but we've been working on that project for almost 20. So it made sense for us to move our headquarters from Salisbury to Princess Anne. This building was available. We took it over. We were running out of this building, but we decided that it was time for us to beautify the space both outside and inside. So we're almost completed our renovations, and I'm excited to show you what we've got going on. And outside of reception, we're going to have 3 backup offices here. Okay. These offices are going to be devoted to the sales office for Isan Farms. So Isan Farms is a sister organization that does poultry processing, and they are based in the industrial park in Princess Anne, and they will have their sales office here, and Halal Food Council provides certification for Isan Farms. We're also going to have office, like a satellite office that will connect us to the greater trade organization. And then this office here will be for the education, consulting component, everything else.
Tell us what halal is.
Halal is a way of life.
Okay.
So a Muslim who is a follower of Islam is told to live a life that is halal. Halal is the highest order of living, and haram is the lowest. And in between, there are other shades. Okay, so it's a spectrum. Halal would be halal would be as close to perfection as you could get, and haram is an absolute. You must not do this. If you do it, you are committing a sin.
Okay.
So examples of haram are eating pork, drinking alcohol. Okay. There are other things like smoking cigarettes that are allowed but frowned upon. Then there are other things that are good but not necessarily halal. And then there's the highest order, which is halal. So halal is a way of life. But to the uninitiated or to the non-Muslim, especially in the US, they believe that halal is a type of food, the type of cuisine, perhaps a food cart in New York City that serves a type of dish. And while we love that interpretation, halal is more than that. Halal is a way of life. So when we apply halal standards to food, there's a lot going on there. There are things that you can eat and there are things that you cannot eat. So we don't consume any blood. We don't consume any creatures that are scavengers, okay? We don't eat any pig. We don't drink any alcohol. And then when we do consume meats, for example, we prefer, in fact, it's asked of us that the slaughter occur in a certain way. Now, there are a lot of items that go into that,
Okay.
but the most important part is the method of slaughter. And so halal slaughter is very important, which is why we focus a lot on poultry. We're here on Delmarva. Chicken is very big here. And so we focus on not only delivering our own poultry processing plant, but also providing services for the poultry industry and making sure that they conform to our halal standard. Back here, we're going to have our paper file storage. And then right here, we're going to have our servers. There'll be some storage, but this will mainly be dedicated to our digital spaces. You see we have our Ethernet run. We have space right here for either a clerk or an intern to sit. We'll put a small cubicle there. And then here we have a larger space. This will be for any visiting dignitaries or any religious gatherings.
You said you have people that are at the actual plants where the slaughter is being done. What do they do? What makes it now that's halal?
A lot goes into that. So we have to supervise everything that occurs from, we have to monitor the feed, we have to monitor the growing, we have to make sure that the animals are treated humanely, from receiving all the way to shipping. When we put our brand behind something, we have to make sure that every vertical aspect of the process conforms with what our Sharia board dictates. And we can't, there's no movement from what our standard is. So we have a lot of people that are out in the field making sure that our clients are meeting the standard so that they can then sell their product as halal. So there's a lot that these people do when they're out in the field. Our religious advisor's office, here he will conduct religious advisement, whether it be financial, marital, religious counseling. So this will be pretty sizable, pretty private. We're very excited for this. It'll be a great service to the community. With what we do at Isan Farms, which is in the Princess Anne Industrial Park, our chickens are antibiotic-free, hormone-free. Then when they're processed, they are not processed with any chlorine. So they're USDA certified chlorine-free. We don't do any stunning. So no post-stunning, no pre-stunning, no gas, no electricity, no stunning whatsoever, which is very rare in the industry. We use 100% vegetarian feed. It's a proprietary Korean blend that we use. So all of these aspects, and most importantly, the birds are processed by hand. We have our temporary office. So as we are doing construction in the back, we obviously need to have, and please pardon the mess, but this is our temporary office where we're running everything out of. And we have a bathroom back here, employing people here and helping this community in any way that we can.
and actually see the space, kind of tell people what the space is, how the space is going to be utilized, and that kind of thing. So you've done a great job at least educating me and anybody else that'll be watching this.
It's exactly what we're here for, to help tell people about the story of halal, and if they have further questions, it's our pleasure to help educate them or help guide them on this path. We just try to help the community out as much as we can, and we have found that this community especially has welcomed us with open arms. The people here are so nice. You know, I grew up 15 minutes up the street. I've been in this area my entire life, and I wouldn't ask for anywhere else to live in the entire world. People here are just so pleasant, so kind, so helpful, not a bad bone in their body, and we love having them as neighbors, and we just want to be the best neighbor possible to them. But that completes the tour.
So, Robert, thank you for taking out some time today